Well, I appreciate all of you coming out here today to talk about Penn State basketball. It's been about 103 days, right, Chelsea? 103 days that we're on the job, and it's as exciting as the first day I got here. It's been a awesome journey so far. Been a lot of fun, and we put this group together, and we've been working hard here for a couple weeks, and we're building the foundation of our program with a lot of hard work, with a lot of time spent with each other, and working on the things that can show up basketball season time. So there's a lot of effort on and off the court to build this the right way with our stamp on it.
Mark, Andrew, John.
Hey, Mike, it's Mark Brennan from Lions 247. How you doing?
Great.
You talked about everybody kind of getting here. At what point did you have your entire team together? And can you talk about how critical these weeks and then the weeks leading, going through the summer are going to be, and everybody kind of getting to know each other, know what they're all about, that sort of thing?
Yeah, so the final, Broggy was the final last Monday, was it? I think last Monday he got here, couldn't get on the court till Wednesday. So we had a few practices, workouts without him, but we have everybody now. So we'll work out all the way up until August 5th, and then we'll depart for Bahamas and play 2 games down there. So we got everybody. This summer, I always say when you take over a new job, the number one thing is as a coaching staff that you gotta build trust with the new players, trust with all the players. To build trust takes time and communication, and it's our job as a coaching staff to create the time and communicate with our players at a high level and allow our players to communicate among each other. And I think they've done a great job of it. I think our staff's done a great job of it. We've done some things off the court to put us together. But just also grabbing 2 or 3 guys, bringing them to the office, going on the court, shooting with them and talking to them. I've been very happy with everybody's approach and commitment to that, building relationships and trust.
Coach Andrew Clay, WTAJ, Nittany Nation. Question is, when you bring essentially 15 guys together who have never been together before, what is the bigger challenge, getting them together on the court or off the court?
Oh, off the court. Basketball is the easy part, because that's why we're all here. Basketball is what brought us all together, so we all love basketball. That's the easy one. It's off the court. It's dealing with different ages of young men, different personalities. Some guys are a little further along in life than others, but that's the neat thing for me is getting Puff Johnson to look after Broggy, because he's an upperclassman, getting Ace to communicate with Quadis, because they only knew each other through AAU basketball and playing against each other, and now they're teammates. And I just think that's what's really cool about putting a new team together is the relationships you could help foster and build, and our guys are doing that. There's been a lot of positive vibes from that. Guys just spend a lot of time together, and they've had some away from the coaches times that they've been together. I think is how you build a team.
Hey, Mike, John Sauber, Senate Daily Times. How is Ace as a leader, and has the team kind of taken him in as the leader because he's the guy that has been with you for so long and kind of had that team last year?
He's sort of he knows what to expect, John. So that part of it is there, and Nick too. Some of our drills, they jump to the front of the line. The lingo, the terminology, they'll explain it to the other guys, which is great. But Ace has just a great feel with people. I just think he does a good job of knowing how to get along with people, and Ace doesn't pull any punches either. He wants to win, and his competitiveness, I think, really leaks to everybody else, and guys know that hey, if you want to be accepted, I think Kanye's like that too. He's a super competitive kid. So those 2 guys, if you're on their team, they're leading by example and by competitiveness, which is great. And I think both of those guys have done that. Ace just knows what I want or how we do some things, and he and Nick have both helped the team with that.
Allie and then Daniel.
Allie Ruby,
Hey, Allie.
ABC27. Hey, how are you?
Great.
Has the job lived up to the hype? It was easy to say, hey, I'm excited about coming back to Pennsylvania, but now you've been in it for a couple months. Are you feeling the support in the athletic department? Is this still a place you're excited to be the head coach of?
Oh, absolutely. I didn't come back here because it's my home state. I came back here because I want to win. And I want to win in the Big Ten. I want to win at a cool university like Penn State. The neat thing about it is I was able to come home. And all the friends that I've run into, I ran into one of my high school teammates that's working here on campus. I didn't see him for 15 years, maybe even longer. I ran into one of my other teammates in high school who I graduated with. He works here in the OPP, and I haven't seen him since graduation. Think about that. Since high school graduation. That's a long time. So those things are neat. The people from home I've run into. Probably my favorite thing is all the high school coaches that I've known for a long, long time because I've always recruited Pennsylvania, talking with them, communicating with them even more than I have in the past. That has been really neat. So yeah, am I still excited? Probably more excited. I'm more excited because of the guys are here, and I like this group and the way they've worked and the way they've gotten along to start this summer has me even more excited.
Mike, Daniel Gowan, Lions 24/7. What have been the early impressions of Puff? Getting him on campus on the court, and with him coming home, to Pennsylvania. What do you think that means to him?
Well, he's maybe one of the most excited players on our team. Like he's excited to be back in Pennsylvania, closer to home. He's a high-level kid on and off the court. He gets it. He's just. You can tell he's been around a basketball family. He's been around basketball. He knows what's important on a team. It's just a high-level kid. And to have that in your first year and the transfer in, I think will really help us. He plays and practices very, very hard. We don't have to tell him to practice really hard. We don't have to tell him to play hard. That's nowadays that's a gift. He does it at a high level, and he's very, very coachable. So he can, he sort of. From the first day, he grabbed a couple of the new guys. Even though he is a new guy, he grabbed a couple just because he's more mature, has a great feel. So I'm going to ask a lot of him in so many different ways. He's had a really good start to his summer. I've been really, really excited about him.
Hey, Coach. Jacob Hall, WGAL in Lancaster. So my question to you is, so you bring in a lot of transfers. How is your staff selective about bringing in the right guys to fit the program and what you're trying to build here?
Yeah, that was everything, honestly. We wanted to get the best players we could, but most importantly, that fit what we want to do in our, as I call it, our family. The guys are going to play for the name on the front more than the name on the back. Be about something that's bigger than ourselves. That's just me, that's just us, and some guys want to do that, some guys don't. We want to try to identify those guys that want to do that and be a part of something that they're going to be very, very proud of for a long time. I've always been that way, and I have no problem to say, no, we're going to pass on that guy because he doesn't fit us, because I've always believed in the craziest time or the most intense time or when you need those guys the most, they're not right. And I want to play against those guys. I've always felt that way. And so it was very important that we got the right pieces. It was very important that we got roster depth, meaning we didn't want to have a ton of grad transfers or a ton of new freshmen or sophomores. We wanted to have some class balance. We also wanted to have depth overall so we could play multiple guys, a lot of guys, and play guys that can play, be versatile players and play multiple positions. So we put all those stuff in order, but we had to make sure it was a fit for me, a fit for our staff, and for what our program is trying to do moving forward.
Mark and then Joe.
Hi, Coach. Mark Woganich from All Penn State at SI.com. I don't know where you're saying here.
I see.
Following up on that, how did they demonstrate their fit? How did the transfer players that you brought in been able to demonstrate their fit? And what's the common denominator that they may all share?
Well, I think they work really hard. The neat thing for me, Mark, was very early in the first week of the summer. They were in the gym. They were living in the gym. They're even now that we're doing a lot of morning stuff and then afternoon stuff, they're coming back at night, and some of the guys are getting extra lifts in. So some guys are doing extra conditioning on their own. That's a really good sign. It's not just a lift in the morning, a practice, 40-minute workout or an hour practice, and then they bolt and you don't see them again. That's not the case. The other thing that I like is there's just not one guy going out the door. There's 6 or 7 of them at a time going out the door. 4 guys are going to eat together. That's very important, and that's the stuff I've seen early, which are positives for sure.
Hi, Mike. Joe Smeltzer, Nittany Sports Now.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, obviously hiring Joe Crispin was something that excited a lot of people because of what he meant to this program as a player. But over the past few months, how has your relationship grown? And I know it's early, but throughout practices and everything going on in the summer, what has his influence been on this program so far?
Oh, it's been great. Number one is his connection to the Penn State family and the Penn State community has helped all of us on our staff just meet people. That's been great, and he's gotten people back in the fold that maybe haven't been around for a while, so that's been huge. But for me personally, he and I see the game very similar. You know, we're competitive and confident basketball people, I think, and so we see things through the same lens, and I think that's important. But he also he sees some, as we built this program over time, as we do, he's got to bring new stuff to our program all the time, and he's already done that, and I love it. And I value our staff's opinions, and I have no problem using them in the moment, and Joe's bringing that, and I want that. So you don't know if an opinion or a suggestion works if you don't try it. We're going to try them, and Joe has a bunch of them, and we want them.
Coach, Andrew Buckman, Daily Collegian. Where do you think your program is in terms of NIL, and how do you think you can improve?
We're decent with the NIL, right? We've made it an emphasis. I want to be here if that wasn't important to our athletics and to our program, and it's been something that is of importance. It's not the number one thing on our list. Because if the number one thing on your list is how big of an NIL you want to get, then don't come to Penn State and play for us, because we want you to come here to be an awesome student, the best basketball player you could be, and try to win big, and try to go be a pro. That the real money's on the back end. That's what I'm gonna tell our guys all the time. But look, we know the world we live in. To be competitive, we have to have a strong NIL, and we've put things in place that have helped that quickly, and I'm very proud of that. But we're going to do it the right way. And if a recruit's first line to me is how much, I'm moving on. We'll find other people. There's a lot of good players out there.
Coach, Bob I from Fox 56 up in Scranton and Wilkes-Barre. We met at the
Yes, we
Scranton
did.
Penn State alumni.
Good to see you, Bob.
Good to you too. Talk to me about Leo Boyle. What have you seen from him in practice, and where does he fit in your team?
Well, he can really shoot, so we like that, and he's tough. 2 things. So what he lacks in foot speed, he makes up in toughness and skill. You could tell already that he's a very good teammate. He's always around different guys all the time. What I love about Leo, he is confident and sure of who he is, not trying to be somebody else now that he's here at Penn State in the Big Ten. I tell him every day, just be Leo, but be ready to shoot the ball. And he's been great. He works really hard. The guys really respect him. Great example for Leo. You have great timing with that question. Practice yesterday. I was leaving here last night about 10:30, and he was in the gym with a GA getting shots up. That's Leo.
Nate?
Hey, Mike.
What's up, Nate?
Hey, Nate Bauer from Blue White Illustrated. When you're finding guys through the transfer portal, obviously the things that you're looking at are mostly film, I assume. Has the film matched up with what you've seen from those players on the court?
Yeah, with film, there's a lot of the guys we knew about, and then there were some that we didn't. That's when you have to take that deep dive, right? DeMarco Dunn, I recruited to VCU very hard, so we knew that. We tried to recruit Prof. He blew up quick, but we recruited Cam when I was at Rice. So there was some prior relationships and some work we've done with these guys before they committed to their first school. Some of the other guys, it was people we knew that recommended it, that I want to see it with my own eyes, and then a deep dive in the tape. And you know, Ray Q was an example, talking to people told me about him, I got really excited about him, spent a lot of time on the phone with him, but we had other guys on our staff take a deep dive and watching tape, calling other people in the league that played against them, get those scouting reports. I mean, we asked schools for their scouting report on Ray Q and stuff like that, and we've gone, you go back, you find their history. So there's a lot of things on the internet you can find people's history, and we did that in this as well. And it also helped us to find out, you know, we might move on from this guy or that guy.
Andrew?
Coach, back here on this, Andrew from WTAJ Nittany Nation. Talking about some of the guys, Broggy probably has the most unique story to get here, the most unique recruiting process. Can you talk a little bit about him and going to Iceland to get someone?
Yeah, well, we didn't go to Iceland, but I'm going to go there one of these days. So Broggy's brother, John Axel Gunnarsson, was the starting point guard at Davidson when I was at VCU. He was player of the year in the 8-10. I'm gonna say 1920 maybe that season. He played in Italy this past year professionally. He was a heck of a player at Davidson. So Brandon Rosell, our director of recruiting, he played in Iceland. So there's connections he has, and talking, we were looking at some international players, and Broggy's name came in front of us. As soon as I saw his last name, we figured it out. It was John Axel's little brother. Usually a little brother's cocky, tough, and a good player, and that's where all that started. And his parents were both players on the national team in Iceland. Broggy is going to be a good, he's got to get stronger like all freshmen in college, but he's a talented wing. Good size, really good feel, and he's from a basketball family. So that's where that came about. But we didn't get to do a home visit in Iceland, but we're going to work on that.
Can I come?
Possibly.
Thank you.
Mark?
Mike, it had been a while over here.
Where are we at? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's okay. Penn State had one guy drafted, I think, this century before this year. What does it mean for the program, even though those guys didn't necessarily play for you, to have two guys go and then to be able to turn on a summer league game and see three former Penn State players kind of competing out there, just in terms of selling it as a place where guys could come to get to that level?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what it is, that you can come to Penn State and be a pro because you have the stage. Now what we want to do is we want to make it successful winning basketball. I'm not sure those guys get drafted if they didn't have the season they had as a team. Because at the next level, no matter how good of a player you are, can you impact winning? GMs want guys that are going to help the team win and help the team get to the playoffs and help the team win a world championship in the NBA. That's, no matter what, that's what they want. So, you know, Seth and Pick, I mean, very good players, but then they capped off their careers at Penn State with wins, with success, and that makes you even more appealing to the next level, to the pro level. So, but it just shows that, yeah, you can do it at Penn State. You could play in the NBA from Penn State. You want the opportunity, you want the development, and you want the stage. And we could provide all three of those things for our guys.
Allie and then John.
In the back again. You've had to rebuild the roster. You're coming off of a successful end of last season for this program. Now you've seen the guys a little bit together. What's realistic for fans to expect this season? Where are you setting the bar for this team?
Still to be determined, because but I'll know that here in a couple more weeks how I feel. I love how hard we compete. I love how hard we practice so far. I really like how well these guys get along. I think that's really important. Your first year trying to build your mentality. I really like our guard play. It's probably a little bit better than I thought it would be. I hope we're a better shooting team than I thought. We have some guys that are really shooting the ball well right now, but you know, the bleachers aren't pulled out, as I say, the lights aren't on, so that's different. You know, the biggest thing is it's easy in the summer because there's no adversity. Now, in the next few weeks here going to the Bahamas, I'll create a lot more adversity for our guys, so I'll understand our team a little bit better with that. The adversity that occurs in preseason, especially preseason and when the season starts, when you go on the road or you get down 10, 12, 15 points, and you find out what your team's all about. But I'm pleasantly surprised, or I'm excited, but I also know that I've been doing this long enough. So there's teams you love early that you don't like at the end, and vice versa, or there's somebody that you're not sure about right now and they surprise the heck out of you. There's an upperclassman that just buys into it a little bit more and figures it out and gives you a great boost. So, it's always, I always say that everything is hills and valleys all the time, and you just got to keep going, keep pushing each other. It's always about moving forward in the summer. Everybody get a little bit better this week. Let's get a little bit better as a team. Let's find out more about each other. So, but I do, I don't care what other people think about our program. We got to establish our program. But what I do know is that I like the group we have, and I like to see how good we can be.
Mike, now that you have the roster finalized and you've had some weeks to work with these guys, what do you expect the strengths and weaknesses of this team offensively to be?
Strengths offensively, I think we have guys can make some plays with the ball in their hands, without a doubt. We are shooting the ball pretty well right now, so I like that a lot. I think guys are doing a good job, especially early as a new team, sharing the basketball. I think that could be a weapon for us. The ball's hot, and lots of different guys are making different plays for each other. We gotta finish better at the rim, and I don't mean big guys. I mean everybody. We have guys that can really drive it, and I think guys that can get to the rim. But I think we got to fit it in the A area, as I call it. The NBA calls the A area around the rim. We got to be better finishers in the A area against contact and stuff like that. And then, we're just learning how to play defense the way we play defense. That's always takes time, but we'll get them right there.
We have time for two more, Andrew and then Daniel.
Coach, how is the recruiting process different with the VCU guys, and then how is it different from the first time you recruited them?
Well, you have established relationships with both Ace and Nick. We have great relationships with them, meaningful relationships. It was just real talk. They knew I was going to Penn State. We were going to Penn State, and once they went into the portal, we'd love to have you. That part, and we recruited them. We talked to them a lot. There was a lot of communication because other people were doing the same. So my relationship with Ace is well past basketball now. It's well past basketball. Yeah, he is one of my point guards, and we've won a lot of games together. But I want to see that dude succeed in life. That's really, really important to me. And every phase of his life he's improved on since he's been with us, and I'm really proud of him for that. Nick, Nick's still one of the younger guys, but Nick is one of my favorite guys I've ever coached because he's so coachable. He's so into the team. He just wants to win. So that's a culture guy, right? People call them culture guys, and I think the relationship with Nick and his family is beyond basketball. And one thing I always promise parents is we're gonna take care of their health, make sure they're safe, and their wellness is a priority to us. I think they believe that, and he wanted to be with us to continue all that. And he's having an awesome summer. This is the best I've ever seen Nick Kern play, but he's happy. He's really happy, and he's doing great in school, and that's why you go to college, to keep moving forward. So we still had to recruit him, but that prior relationship was so important.
Last question, Daniel.
Mike, Favor and Demetrius are two guys that didn't play a lot of basketball as freshmen last year. What goes into developing them this summer to get to the point where they can be contributors this winter, and what does having Kutas here how does that help them develop? What can he do as a veteran?
Yeah, with Q, it just, as I say, use your veteran savvy to help these guys, right? He has a lot of miles on that body and a lot of experience, so share it with everybody. So the little things you can help Meach and Fave with will help us. Both of those guys play really hard. Meach is in the best shape of his life. So I pretty much told Meach, when you go home, if you don't come back in the best shape of your life, you'll probably never get on the court. And he came back in the best shape of his life, and he's having a great summer. I'm really proud of him. I'm really proud of him. Fave, Fave is still new to the game. He's figuring it out, but he plays with a great motor for a guy 6'11" and really long and athletic, and he really moves well. And I love versatile big guys that can move. He just has to learn the intricacies of the game. Don't foul so much, stay between your man and the ball. Don't try to make a home run play every time, but most freshmen are like that. Rhoades doing the same thing. They're trying to make home runs plays all the time. Just keep the game simple. But both of those guys, Meach and Fave, they're very coachable. They want to do well. They're good teammates, and they play with good motors. And I think, guys with size that play with good motors the way we play, that's really going to help our team.